hard in the very first days. I'd agreed that he could have some formula whilst he was, first of all, you know what I mean, able to be fed in those early hours. And then I stimulated with help from really nice midwives actually on the ward at Pilgrim, and they helped me to produce my milk, and we kept sending that up in, first of all, the little syringe things that they give you to fill up with colostrum for him, and then my milk got flowing within 3 days. I was milk supply. It's like crazy how it happens. It's really instant once it starts. But he was tube fed during all this time, which meant I had to express. So it was very, very challenging to breastfeed in those early days when you've got a very small baby. He was only 4 pound 9 ounce at birth, and his weight dropped quite a bit and didn't go under 4, but it was quite low, and it took a long time for it to climb again. It was just steady for a couple of weeks, in fact. So it was very hard, and he was only tube fed then, so I was expressing round the clock. They have to wake me up every 3 hours to express, and yeah, it was tiring, hard work. But we got through it all. It was really challenging, but it's almost makes it more rewarding when you know you've had to try that bit harder to get through difficult bits. I had already breastfed my first 3 daughters, and I was always really keen. I was a proper advocate for anybody saying, just try it. If you're not sure, if you think, I'm not going to like it or whatever, just try it anyway, because you really might surprise yourself that once you get going and get over any of your little hurdles, and particularly if you've got some support or somebody else that's breastfed in the past that can help and advise you that things are normal and you don't need to worry about a lot of mums worry that they're not producing enough milk, when really if you just step away and you look for a minute and think, well, is the baby growing well? Are they you know what I mean, filling the nappies and they're sleeping, then they are getting enough, and we have to, just relax a little bit. I think, trying to relax a bit always helps. It was really important to me. I loved the closeness, the bond. I successfully breastfed the first 3 girls. The first one, I fed her for 9 months, and the only reason I stopped then is because I was actually pregnant with the second child, and she actually went off the milk, so it does change the taste apparently. So she was attempting to feed and wanted to feed, and then when she did, she noticed that it wasn't right, and she would push me away and try again. And 2 years I breastfed my second daughter. She always really enjoyed the feeding. Obviously she had all her teeth. They don't often bite. It's often just very occasional, and as soon as you know what I mean, give a little yell or whatever, you know what I mean, they soon realise when you flinch that you don't like it, and they don't tend to do it anyway. So but she loved feeding, so that was really successful. Some of the challenges I've faced throughout this my whole breastfeeding journey, with the first one, I did get really bad mastitis once, which is terribly painful, and I think a lot of mums have told me before that is one of the reasons they've stopped feeding after getting mastitis, and it's like blocked ducts that will get infected, and it makes you feel feverish and ill. You do actually feel very poorly with it. But I went to my doctor. They helped clear up the infection, and then midwife showed me how I could help to relieve the ducts and make them clear again. Just start to keep it going really, and to mainly not stop breastfeeding, because I think that's what a lot of people do. They draw back from when it's getting hard to feed and it's hurting and things, and she just encouraged, just keep feeding the baby as usual. It will start to clear, and the antibiotics cleared the infection, and we carried on, and so that was in the early days. You see, I was only I think my first daughter was about a month old at the time, so still quite young, and I think it could have put me off, you know what I mean, if I hadn't have been persistent that I really, really wanted to breastfeed. So we got through that. he was tiny, he would only feed for a few minutes and then he'd fall to sleep. And then it's quite hard to keep them stimulated and awake to keep feeding for long enough for him to be gaining weight. So that was the problem in the early weeks. It carried on for months, in fact. It was very hard. So I used to express a lot. Round the clock I was expressing for probably about 3 months. I was feeding and expressing every day at each feed, and feeding him myself and then topping him up with formula with my breast milk that I've been expressing throughout the days before. I would always have loads in the freezer. Yeah, just trying to keep on top of it. It was very, very hard work. Yeah, it was important for me to keep breastfeeding Felix because I knew that it was the best thing for him health-wise, best benefits for him. All the antibodies he's getting, and for a very small baby, obviously they're susceptible to infection more easily when they're this tiny. So knowing that he was getting my antibodies was really good. And also just all the qualities of breast milk, everything's in it that's designed for him. For my other children, there wasn't an awful lot of support back then. They didn't have groups like this. This has been amazing for me. Coming to my local children's centre and coming to a breastfeeding group that is all the mums breastfeeding this particular group, and the support has been immense. Jill, that manages the group, is fantastic. She has so much knowledge, and after feeding 3 children myself, you'd have thought I would know everything. Absolutely not. There's so much more to learn all the time. Natalie, who's also one of the mums in the group and has so much knowledge on breastfeeding. She's taught me so much that I didn't know any of. She helped me in different situations when he wasn't gaining weight, and she would give me suggestions and things that could have been the problem that I wasn't even aware of. It's quite amazing just how much there is to learn. It seems so black and white, and so it should be so natural, it seems like, but it actually isn't. It's a hard work and there's a lot to learn. I've only ever had one comment, I think, in all of the years, that, and that was just when I was in a cafe, I think I was, and somebody asked me then and said, you shouldn't really be doing that here, and I said, I'm going to feed my baby in the cafe. That's where you're eating your dinner. I wouldn't take them into a bathroom to feed them. And then they just left me to it. But I've never had any other comments in many years of feeding. So yeah, it's not too bad. Once you get going and you relax to it, maybe with friends or family at first, you feel a little bit awkward the first couple of times. But once they've seen you feeding, and it's just about normalising it to yourself and to others. And that's what I always try to promote to other people. Just try it and see how it goes, and you'll see that it soon becomes really, really normal to you and the people around you. Yeah, it's a really lovely, beautiful experience.